Yo, hello, welcome to my Google slideshow. My presentation is going to be telling you how to get better at Survivor, and this is going to include juking, moonwalking, just core loops, how to play every Survivor. I'm not going to do one like how to use a specific ability for a specific Survivor because there's already other videos that teach you how to do that because each Survivor has their own play style, how they function and shit. So, table of context, like I just said, juking variants, like you've seen this GIF, you're gonna know how to do the juking shit. That's if you practice a lot. Then y'all have to understand, is this because you watch I don't know how long this video is gonna be, 20 minutes, you're not gonna become like a fucking juking, looping top % god by the end of it. Like shit just can't be handed to you. You gotta spend time and grind, you feel me? You gotta like practice. So, but again, you're gonna moonwalk, juke, loop, and also just like some stuff outside, like, you know, bonus tips, like configure your game properly if you wanna like, you know, survive longer and shit. So, alright, for the first one, we're gonna really be doing is like juking. Now, there's a video that Zin made, which basically shows like a killer's perspective of countering top 1% jukes. So we go over here, you can see this Shaleski. You see right here, oh fuck, I haven't done this since fucking middle school. But you can see right here, he did a Sundoinky right here. Where the Sundoinky is moonwalking around a corner. It's like faking away because what the killer sees is that, you know, he can go left, like he can go left this way, or he can go right. It's like, you know, it's like a 50-50. So to increase our odds as Survivor, you can just fake going one way and then go the other way and see if you miss. And here's what we're reading about juking. A lot of what juking is, there's no guaranteed way to like make a killer miss you like a billion times in a row. That's just humanly impossible. It's like chess. You just do like the best move that like increases your odd as winning. And the best way to do that for juking is you gotta know as many types of variants of jukes as possible, because most motherfuckers, all they know how to do is like strafe left and right and spin and go behind the killer. They know only 2 jukes. Like at some point you're gonna be easy to read, but if you know 20, 30 juke variants, then like that's just gonna help your odds, because you don't want to keep doing like the same move over and over. Like you don't want to be predictable. That's the whole point. I feel like a lot of people in juking don't do that. So like it helps if you can just come up as many juke variants as possible. Like, I don't know, you could sit in like private servers and just like mess around with the Survivor movement, because the Survivor movement gets influenced by like everything. Like if I open my Roblox right here, like your camera influences it when you start inputting WSD, or like if you're on like a joystick in the fucking other joystick to turn the camera. Like everything matters. The way how you like press A and B, like it's all matters. But before I go showing the juke variants, let me go back in the video. But yeah, once again, I was Sundoinky. Yeah, again right here, we're using our example. You see the moonwalk, and like you just see how unpredictable that is. Like I don't even know how you predict that shit. Like you see this inverted nude, like this is what I'm talking about. You just gotta be like schizophrenic. You gotta be like bizarre and shit. You ever see the shedding gun? Those simple 180s, whatever. Look at this. You see right there? There's not just like, you know, juking the killer's M1. You gotta also know how to have reflexes to like, you know, dodge his projectiles. So like again, one of the ways is moonwalking again, because it looks like, because like he has like barely time to react, it looks like he's just going forward when he wasn't, because he's going backwards. You know, I do that a lot in my videos where I like moonwalk to like strafe. When there's already where you can just be like a snake, zigzag, spam A to D. Like you just gotta like do a lot of different stuff. Just be like unpredictable. All right, here, this will be the last example to show for like killer POV before I actually, you know, show you guys my own juke variants. Right here, there's an FOV, which is faking going behind, and you think you go behind, like, you know, because, you know, most killers, when they gonna spin them, they're just gonna try to predict. Job application, I don't know, I didn't fucking make this video, bro. It's some like meme shit, but only for sometimes you could juke killers like doing nothing. There again, like I said, you can break line of sight and just moonwalk. Also, another thing too is like juking is gonna more likely work when you're injured, because the Survivor is shorter, breaks a less easier. Another big important factor, I'm gonna go more into this later in the video when I go to the core looping tips, not juking, is breaking line of sight. Breaking line of sight and giving the killer less information is very important, which that's what walls can do, like when you go behind him. Like again, he's just going like left, right, it's a strafing, very typical one. It's just like, another thing you have to understand is just do stuff really fast, because you're playing Roblox, a lot of these people are like little kids, so like they like react fast. So let's say like a killer's gonna throw a projectile at you, you just hug in a loop, and you just stop hugging the loop for like a slight second and go back to hugging loop. They just think you're gonna go wide and like just go far out. Like stuff like that, you have to like really like understand and stuff. But yeah, I could go on forever with juking. Honestly, in the simplest terms, it just come up with as many juke variants as possible and just be like unpredictable. And honestly, only do the juking when like the killer is right there. And if you want to do sometimes, you can just play it safe, don't do any jukes, and just take the speed boost. Like, if you want to play, like, worst case scenario, you should just never do jukes. Now, most of the jukes you do is do jukes only. That doesn't make you lose distance. Something like this in FOV with shift lock, you're not going to lose any distance. Like, if you're trying to go for, like, something longer in duration of LMS, then you gotta, like, do these jukes that, yes, if they don't work, you're gonna lose distance, but, like, they are going to be the reason why you can run the kill for 3 minutes or something, you feel me? So, yeah, but honestly, you just care about range for LMS only. Come on as many jukes as possible, doesn't make you lose distance, and then just, like, take the speed boost, you know, like, looping youre. Now, I'm gonna get to that part, but for right now, I'm gonna tell you guys all the juking variants I personally know. I mean, there's probably more that I just don't know, but the first one I already show is just a Slindoinky, something like that. How you can even do, like, a fake Slindoinky, FOV, like, again, you, like, once you come up with more variants, you can start, like, combining them and shit. It's like Mortal Kombat, Streets of Rage, like, you gotta, like, come up with combos and shit. Now we're gonna moonwalk. Moonwalking helps a lot, and moonwalking, again, I already showed you why it's helpful for other projectiles. I know, again, like I said, once you start coming up with the variants, you can do a moonwalk into a V-spin. That's the V-spin right there, which is pretty much a free 60. Because in the moonwalk, you just go like this. You're already, like, in a fraction of a second, already behind them. It's probably like the only, like, variant I know that can, like, counter a killer from, like, flicking 180 without you getting hit. Because a normal spin is either, like, a 50-50. You go behind them, you hope they just shoot this way. And then an FOV, you do FOV because you're thinking they're gonna 180 and, like, flick over there, you feel me? So, you can also do V-spin while moonwalk. You just do this. And I guess, like, another easy way, you could do this. You could combine it into shift tapping. Do it like that. That also works. That's probably the easiest form of it. Another variant is, like, just WSD flicking with a spin, like, using the camera, because the camera is gonna make you go wider. Like, you know, just like I said, like, every input matters. Like, you can do, like a really fast, tight spin like that, or you can go, like, really wide if you type WC slur. Like, everything matters, which, as long as you just want to go wide, because the hitbox of the killer's melee weapon is very huge and shit, so. Or again, it's like, again, with a moonwalk, just do that. It's just, like, kind of like a FOV, basically. I don't know, it just works. Like, I think you guys get the point. I could sit here. You just have to come up with your own variants. I mean, like, there's been times where I just used a moonwalk just to go behind the killer. And how sometimes you can, like, at that point, they start predicting, you just spam AD like this, and then you think you're gonna do it, you don't do it. And again, like I said, that same AD movement, like, you can use, like, the, like, you know, fake doing a strafing into that shit. You can, again, use the AD so the killer can predict where you're gonna go to dodge a projectile, like, you know, like this, something like this. Like, there's just a lot of shit you can do. Like, I don't want to make this video really long, but just find variants yourself, maybe look at my videos or something, or other people's stuff. At the end of the day, the 3 best ways to get better at anything in life is looking at what someone's better at doing, not, like, just naturally doing it, not, like, for educational purposes, like indoor zone, like, you feel me? And then that's the second best method. The number 1 best method is you gotta do this shit yourself. You can't just, like, have all this knowledge in your head and just never apply it. Which is why, in my opinion, like, probably the 3rd best way to learn anything, which is what you're doing right now, is watching, like, a guide to, like, improve, so. Yeah, but, anyways, which someone's probably wondering, because a lot of my playstyle with juking is moonwalking, is how to do a real moonwalk. Which, you might think, like, oh, just a moonwalk, just, like, hold shift. If you see this shit, you see you're leaning backwards. But you see when I do it, my character doesn't lean backwards. The reason why you want to know how to do a real moonwalk is so it's harder for the killer to know you're actually going backwards. But again, if you're probably like a 2x min or something, if you apply this into like a backstab, it's probably going to be even harder to fucking predict. Like, not even like, you know, just like breaking LS with like corner and then just fucking going backwards and backstab like easy. Well, even then, I don't know how long it's going to be in the game because it seems like the devs want to patch that, but back to what I was saying. Now you can see my keyboard, and I don't know, it's a green screen. I'm too fucking lazy to get rid of the chroma key. I don't care. Well, basically, you just gotta press AD like this. This looks kind of easy, but it's extremely hard. It's way harder than it looks. Like, I can only do it for a couple seconds. I would say, like, once, like, you get to the point where you can, like, on command do this every time for a few seconds, then, you know, start doing it in, like, real actual games. Otherwise, if you're at a point where, like, there's no, like, guaranteed way for you to, like, consistently moonwalk every single time, then you probably don't want to do it in-game because you might just, like, do it like this on accident and just look like an idiot and then, like, you know, your fucking moonwalk juke doesn't fucking work, you feel me? So, you gotta really get to know do it, but I don't know to say, you just spam AD, you gotta turn your camera left and right, like, you know, if you press A, you're going left, so then you turn your camera left, vice versa, D means right, so, like, I'm showing an overlay, I don't really know, like, what to tell you guys. This is like that's just how you do it. Like, I'm not the best at explaining this. Like, you could just search up Dead by Daylight like arent tech, sway tech, like moonwalk, or whatever the fuck. And there's also another way you can do this as well. You can do it without turning the camera, which I'm not the best at doing that, which is like that. You see, I'm not even turning my camera at all. I'm just spamming AD super fast. That was actually one of my best ones that I normally do. Yeah, again, if I could find a Discord clip, there's literally like a viewer I have that can do that shit for like 14 seconds or some shit. Like, I don't know how the fuck they can do that. You're gonna get yourself carpal tunnel doing that. In my opinion, just focus with the camera one more, because that tends to be more consistent than the spammy one. If I was to do that. But again, speaking of moonwalks, I think you guys already noticed you can do this any direction. You can do it forward, like I'm doing it forward right now. You can do it sideways. You can do it any direction you want. You can do this on mobile. You can do this on controller. I've personally been able to do them on multiple platforms before. So yeah, I would just say obviously like it's gonna be probably harder to do it if you're not using a keyboard. So I mean that's basically the segment for like the fucking moonwalk. I don't really know what to tell you guys. You guys are gonna sit there and bash your head, whatever. If I was you, go in the game as well, which makes the character turn slower, so it's easier to do moonwalks. Like go on like a Dead by Daylight clone, or maybe I'll like actually quickly make a place for you guys just so the character turns slower. You guys can practice. Here's where I end the segment real quick. I know it's weird. You might be wondering why I'm on Rain Road. I think this like a better visualization, because honestly this fucking keyboard overlay isn't the best. If I go over here to test input, like pretty much for moonwalking, you see at the top left, this shit's this is where you want it to look like. You want your moonwalks to look like this. You want to be like, you don't want to be like this, because like your just shit isn't gonna work. But if you're doing a spammy one, you just want it to look like that. I guess if it's like you're on a controller, that's probably how you want your joystick to look like. But that's just like spam without turning the camera. If you want to do it with sway teching, like swaying your camera, you gotta do it like this, if that makes sense. Well, the spam one, you don't have to move your mouse. You gotta spam as humanly fast as possible. Pretty much just hold down S the whole time. Don't ever let go of S. Or if you're doing another direction where you're doing forwards, then you gotta hold down W the whole time, and then whatever. You pretty much just spam AD. And if it's like a joystick, you're gonna have it like this. You gotta be like hitting pretty much if you're on a joystick, or like you're doing this on mobile. You gotta just hit your like finger or your joystick at the very bottom of like the circle region shit, and just like, you know, wiggle it a lot. So I don't know, that's my best I can do it. You're just gonna have to fucking practice a lot. Go into some games that's like slower. The spamming one tends to be more easier than the swaying camera attack, but don't be so hard, because you know I've been playing Dead by Daylight for 5 years, so like, you know, I've been moonwalking for like so many years. It's like I'm pretty much the Michael Jackson of this shit. So it's gonna take you guys a long time, but you guys can do it. I believe you. Especially because you press on this video, you have the attention, you want to improve. We're gonna go on the next one. So now this is some actual looping tips. I just want to start with the things I got requests the most. People want to understand the most how I do the moonwalks and how I do my juking. I'm never gonna go on to pretty much the actual like real segment of the guide, which is like looping tips. Just to show you guys an example of looping, like real looping that isn't just juking. You know, I was like 1v1ing this guy like on my live stream, like just for fun, because fucking pubs are boring. And you know, essentially, like, you know, you just want to loop around objects. If you notice they're gonna double back, or if you ever get a chance, break away. And the reason why that works is because he doesn't know where I'm at. They have no information whatsoever. Another thing I like to do is like, you see this fucking lane suit over here that you guys know to build a map of glass houses, that big ass pillar. This could work on anything. If you ever have a huge ample amount of distance from the killer, and the killer still wants to come into your chase, if you break line of sight, logically, they want to get to you as fast as humanly possible. So they're gonna start cutting you off. If you know they're gonna cut you off, just stand there while breaking line of sight. And just go back originally Brady came from. Like, let's say like the killer is over here on like 5. And when he starts coming over here and you're staying in the middle, then you can go back to re 5 and he tends to lose you. So yeah, again, like I said, just breaking line of sight is very important. Another good time to start managing your stamina is when you're breaking line of sight. That's when you start walking, because the killer has to guess if you're going to be running and using more of your stamina, or if you're walking. It's just like a 50-50. Well, if you're just walking out the open, it's a 100% guarantee the killer knows like, oh, he's just walking. And again, like I said too, like I'm done with the juking fucking segment already, but it also helps to do your jukes while breaking line of sight. Like especially dodging projectiles. Like any killer dodging projectiles, like 1x1, try to break line of sight as much as possible, so they just have to guess. And like, because most good players that like use range abilities, like if they know you're gonna be dodging and shit, they're just gonna wait until you like dodge a little bit, run into the crosser and get a free hit. So that's always the best idea, is to have a lot of distance and break line of sight. So like they can't actually use the skill of having like really good aim to their advantage, because like now that you broke line of sight, they have nowhere to aim. They have to just like guess where you go. Is this a 50-50? There's no way to like, unless you're fucking hacking, there is no way to always know where they are. And especially also if you do this shit while they have aura, then yeah, it's not gonna do anything. But like half the time, the killer is not gonna have aura reading on you and not have like fucking know your position. Another tip right here is like you see right here, I knew he was gonna catch up, so I just started walking and then I started running. When you know they're about to just like catch up and you gotta start looping around an object, that's when you start walking. A lot of people, they just fucking keep running for some reason. Like you gotta just start like, you know, optimize your stamina and shit. Like you start kind of like knowing this shit like kind of when you understand like how fast the killer is and like how fast they get. You can also use the end lag and just, you know, break away tiles when like, you know, you're just gonna get a lot of distance. Again, this is why I ran from there. And again, especially at Shitleski, you just want to like loop a lot and go around corners because they're gonna think you're gonna double back and, you know, use a sword. And once you think you have a hunch there's like send it, then you could just use their ability right here. Again, going around an object and like, I mean, this is pretty much just looping, and you just have to have good stamina. Make sure your shit. Everyone always knows this. Don't fucking let it hit 0. A good rule of thumb is just don't let it go lower than like 20 or 30. That's what I tend to just fucking do. Like it's pretty much like the best thing you can do. Oh yeah, I forgot another juking fairy right there. You can fake like you're gonna keep looping more and not actually juke at all, just like W keying, but you don't. That's another thing I like to do. Like it's just hard for me to think on top of a head, but you know, it's just a lot of stuff you can do. Like you just gotta be pretty creative and like think outside the box. Again, I'm just looping. Again, like I said, another juke too is just don't actually juke at all. You just fucking W key like 10 seconds ago he just misses like a free hit. You don't have to always start it. So because like the hitbox in this game are like pretty bad, so you could just abuse that to your advantage. Also, when you're looping, you gotta hug the walls as tightly as possible, so it takes the killer long to catch up to you. But yeah, I mean, like, I don't really know what else to tell you guys apart from, like, you know, use check spots, which I'm gonna put some check spots on screen. It's just, like, looking behind you in chase and, like, you know, always knowing what the killer is gonna do, you feel me? And then another thing is just, you just gotta understand how killers work, predict them. Like, you know, I saw right here, I predict his, you know, shot. You'll get a micro faking, like I just said, a couple seconds at the rock. You could like fake going one way just to like create more distance. Like you can see right here. Like I could show like a quick example of micro faking in this tab video. Right here, I just run this way. So like again, he started kind of off, and then because he saw me micro fake to the right, and look, he just fell off. Another good tip too is like, you know, since we're looking at this clip, have the most weirdest pathing as possible when you do manage to break line of sight. Like right here, like let's be honest, do you see anyone else run like this on Survivor? No. Most killers think you're gonna just cross the bridge or you're gonna go to fucking the mansion thing and wherever the fuck. You just gotta like, again, like I say, play unpredictably. Not only you can be unpredictable with jukes, you can also be unpredictable with how you loop. So yeah, again, like I don't really know like what else to really say. Just like most of it on core is just running around objects, knowing when to break away and just looking behind, check spot like right there, that's the check spot. Like just having like good camera positioning. Another thing that helps a lot is this like flickering camera. So you can like look behind always, but you can also, you know, not run into a wall and like, look forward. I don't know why there's some people like in my comments, like there's only like 1% of them. They say like, oh, why you keep camera flicking so much? Like, I mean, enjoy, I guess. These probably the people that say this shit are the ones that just look straight. And yeah, right there, that was like a 4-minute chase against you or whatever. But yeah, again, that's all I can really say. You know, also again, utilize their abilities. Use them only when you're low in stamina. That's what I tend to try to do. If you have blocks you call items, use them. And then just understand the maps, have map knowledge, and just know what's the best areas to loop. And honestly, like also understand the killer's cooldowns on abilities so you can like predict what their ability is. Sometimes killers just like hold their abilities forever and just never use them or use them like up close and not miss. Like you just kind of have to understand how the killers play. If they just figure out a juke a lot and you just don't juke, then like you just miss a lot of hits. I think right there is probably like in that Nola Koopa show is probably the reason why I just made him miss a lot and once for freeze is because he just thinks I'm a juke a lot. Like that's like another thing you can do with juking. You just like fake jukes a lot and just or not even juke at all and they just think it works. This game is why like FOVs, you know, fucking strafing or whatever works a lot. And yeah, just like abuse breaking that OS. Like, you know, I do a lot of things where I like act like I'm gonna hug a corner against a projectile killer and then they fucking shoot and try to predict because like, and they're forced to predict because their bullets aren't hit scan, you don't like go fast. And yeah, okay, that kind of driven into juking, but like at the same time with looping is like you have to combine looping with juking because like you gotta know a way to like create distance other than abilities. if you're playing safe, like use your abilities firsthand, and like after looping, if they like catch up and you're low on stamina. I mean, otherwise, you want to take speed. So like, it's just kind of like the play style, like what you want to do. It just depends on the scenario. If you have to run the killer for 3 fucking minutes, then you're gonna have to do jukes that are gonna make you lose distance, or quote what people say, oh, play unoptimally, or whatever the fuck. If you're just doing an LMS, like I just showed you that Noli clip, you can just loop around a lot of objects, act like your ability, don't use it, use your ability fine, low stamina, and then you can just do jukes that like don't make you lose distance, but you're pretty much just playing for speed with hit, because at the end of the day, there's no guaranteed way to make a killer juke. And you just kind of have to like have a good pathing, path weird, know when to break away, know when to, you know, keep going, break all us a lot to stamina, like I'm pretty much done, because I'm feeling like at this point I'm repeating myself, and like this video is like already like 30 minutes. This probably could be a long ass video. I mean, I'm sorry if it's not entertaining, but like you're here to get educated. It's not supposed to be like fun and shit. So when we get to like the last few segments, which is, you know, real quick, if you're playing with like friends, you could use something called clock outs. Let's look at horror hotel right here. It's just pretty much like the ball pit on that map is 1, and the outside area 7, and like it's just some like military Captain Price Call of Duty shit. Like, you know, if you're in like a call, you can just say like, oh, the killer is on 3 or whatever. You have like LS, and again, like right here, these like diagrams are showing. This is, you know, showing what are the best areas to loop. They, like, again, is kind of best areas to loop, because like, you know, you want to loop stuff that are very big. Like you see with Brandworks, like you guys probably see me how I play a lot. I just fucking like run a marathon and just rotate around the entire map. Again, like I'm done talking about the looping segment, but yeah, the video's almost done. The last thing I'm gonna talk about is my settings and shit. You know, because if you configure your game and make it the way how you like, it is obviously gonna make you play better. As always, I play the game on, you know, not on graphics free, because if I play this shit on max graphics, like the game feels like it's so blurry and it's like 480p quality. But if you're on like fucking 3 graphics, it's like 1080p. These are my settings. I don't feel like explaining them. I'm just gonna scroll. You can copy if you want. But honestly, like, have an open mind, critically think. Everything I say in this video, you don't have to do. Just do whatever the fuck you want, and just like, you know, play the game however you want, because like that's probably gonna make you play better. But like honestly, not everything. Like if you just don't like do things are obviously like a critical mistake, you're already gonna know that. Another thing too is kind of like more like the psychology of the mindset shit. You just gotta like try to learn from like every mistake you do. Some stuff outside the game too is just like you just gotta be like healthy in general, like, you know, outside the game. Like obviously, for example, like I played a game, if I'm really trying, I play it with no music. That's why I disabled the in-game music, not only to hear footsteps, but psychology-wise, you're gonna get more distracted and less focused if you have music. So like, you know, sometimes I just play the spot music and I don't really care, I'm not trying, but if I'm really trying, I just play no music and just like edit it for a video in post or whatever the fuck. And again, like I said, you can also, I don't want this to be like a self-improvement video or something, but you can do meditation shit, you know. You can work out, not for your like, you know, physical health, but for like, you know, brain. So like you get less brain fog and shit. You know, you're just more like tap in. Like it's just pretty much just like take care of yourself. If I was you, don't watch fucking TikTok and have a low attention span, because like if you like fucking in game like a survivor, you're just like dozing off and shit because your fucking brain is so fried. Then like you probably won't even react to where the killer's coming from. But also, real quick, I just came up with, again, I'm not doing this with a script, I'm just improvising all this shit. You just make sure to, like, be in good positions where good loops are, and just, you know, looking around your surroundings. I think you should never get sneak up upon the killer. Especially because this game has no stealth killers, so. Yeah, you get the point, just, you know, to stay focused and, like, pay attention. Probably not the best idea to, like, every time you die, or, like, when a round ends, to sit on, like, and, like, scroll on YouTube for, like, a few seconds or something. Again, is why you guys see me when you watch me on live streams, I play worse. It's because I'm talking to friends, you know, about outside topics. I'm reading the chat. Like I might even be playing music. I'm just not gonna be like completely locked in. You feel me? So, but when I'm by myself, or if I am playing with friends, you know, we're only talking about stuff, you know, related to the game. Like, oh, this is where the killer is. I'm gonna do this. Blah blah blah. And I'm playing with like no music. I'm just focused. That's pretty much what I can do. But yeah, again. Let me finish up. Like, you already saw this, my settings. As you guys already noticed, camera mode, make sure that's camera toggle, because it increases your height so you can see over loops. And another easier way to like look over your loops is you have more vertical FOV than height FOV. So if you pan your camera like this to look on the right side, then you're going to see overloops. This helps a lot more when you're using stretch res, which is the next thing I'm going to talk about. When you do that, you know, you just go on the video control panel, and the only thing you want to stretch is the, like, vertical. You don't actually ever want to do the width, because for some reason you do the width, you lose FOV. But if you do it vertically, then you gain FOV. And also you have to purposely set the black bars, because for some reason if you don't have black bars and do real stretch res, then you also lose FOV. Yeah, what I tend to use is like 500 res, like as right here. This is like the best res in the game, because there's some check spots like Brandworks and Horror Hotel that you just can't do without this res. Because if you try to do this on like 1080p, it is just not going to work. And again, if you don't know how to get black bars, then when we go right here and adjust desktop size and position, make sure this says no scaling. Don't set this to full screen, and it should work. I think another way if you're on Windows is if you just type in like resolution, then I mean, I don't use this, but you know, you can do it over here, obviously. And there's all your reses. And if you're an AMD user, or if you don't have NVIDIA control panel, I don't know how to fucking do the res. You're just gonna have to figure it out. And now another thing you can do that's even more overkill is this stamina bar. You're especially gonna want this if you're playing stretch. I don't think it's necessary if you're on 1080p, like native, which some of you guys are gonna be because you're on console or phone. If you're playing on stretch res, the HUD is so far away because you get so much like vertical FOV. It's kind of hard if you're using a method to like look at your stamina bar to know what stamina is, instead of, you know, counting your head or just, you know, having like, you know, macro sense of how much stamina you have. Then it's kind of annoying. So the only way I know how to fix this is going into OBS and like dead ass playing the game in OBS. And you get display captures to like, instead of recording the game, again, you're playing it in the actual game. You get a second one and you like crop it to be only the stamina bar, and then you can just put the stamina bar in the middle of the screen and like put it above your head, just so you don't have to, you know, look like really far deep in like a fucking corner to see like what stamina is. Again, it's pretty helpful for stretch res users, because then when you start looking at your stamina bar, you can still keep eyes on the killer, because you always want to be looking behind the killer. So another thing you can do too is make your game brighter, like, you know, just set the gamma to max in the video. I don't know how the fuck you do this on AMD or just like a monitor, and I don't think you can do this on like a phone or Xbox. I mean, maybe the Xbox, PlayStation thingy, because you just make the TV settings bright, but you just do this just so you get rid of the fog, so that like you can tell the killer is coming from, you know, further away, so you can like loop them far away in shades. That's another thing that, you know, helps a lot. Yeah, but I mean, that's pretty much all the settings I do. Again, like, play this game on max fun, obviously. Listen to sound cues. A little psychology thing is you react to sound faster than what you see. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much my configure settings, like for this last topic segment shit. Just configure your game to how you want, that makes you play the best, and honestly just fucking take care of yourself. You just gotta have to be mentally good. Like, I see a lot of first second players, if you guys watch my videos, and people just be like raging and shit. If you're fucking getting mad at the game, you're gonna play worse. You gotta also just, you know, not get fucking triggered the game. I guess like a tip to not get pissed off this game is don't be a content creator. Again, my personal opinion, there's no reason for you guys to get mad at this game if you're not even making content. And it's like, you have like infinite attempts, you know, you have all this time in the road to like, you know, keep getting better at the game. And even when you lose, you think about it, then like the next round you have a higher likelihood to actually win, so you just gotta take that into account. That's pretty much like the fucking tutorial. This video is probably gonna be like 30 fucking minutes. And if I stream today, it's probably gonna be really late. And goddamn, I'm already so tired. I hope this was helpful. This was supposed to be made like literally 2 months ago, but I just wanted to be like perfect. And like, I kept getting better at the game. And like, I finally think I got the best configure settings just to like show you guys off. But I also just realized at some point that there's no way I can make like a fucking perfect guy, because at the end of the day, everybody like this is gonna have natural weaknesses in this playverse. So like, you guys just kind of have to like look everywhere, like every single player, just to like study off of them. I mean, honestly, this guide isn't gonna be perfect, and I mean, there's like nothing I can do, but this should be better than generally most fucking Forsaken guys, because most Forsaken guys are just honestly really useless or way too beginner friendly. This shit's for like people that are intermediate, that are trying to become way better at the game, to become advanced players or experts. So hopefully I did that. I don't know if this is like hopeful. I mean, hey, at least I fucking tried. So yeah, again, that's like the And in the video, you know, anyways, you know, that's it. Remember, be clear and fire, so like and passion, and keep seeking divine obligation, resolves for state, and when time assures from love, and open our time towards you. I'm glad I'm now.